Hello everyone. In this video, we'll look at Assistants API by OpenAPI. This is an API to which helps you build AI assistants within your application. So if you are an app and want to add AI functionality to it by creating an application, similar like a bot, you can use it. So in this video, we'll look at how you create it, and I'll just follow this tutorial which they have mentioned on their website and link this in the description. So what are the steps? First, we have to create an assistant in the API. Then we have to create a thread, add messages to that thread, and then run the assistant on the thread to see the responses. Okay, so let's get started. So code already they have provided, but some basic code will need to add. So I'll just include that, right? Uh, so first, I'll just follow it in Jupyter Notebook. So first you have to import and you have to install OpenAPI. So you can do pip install and install the OpenAPI. Then you have to create a client, right? So I'm just copying code from somewhere, right? So it's very straightforward. Client is OpenAPI. Just creating an object client from there, right? So this is the basic setup. There is another key API key that you will have to add. I'm not adding it right now. To the environment variable, you have to add like open API, OpenAI API key, uh, this kind of key, and this key will be available in your dashboard, right? Your key. So once you go to the OpenAPI dashboard, OpenAI dashboard, you can find the keys here, API keys. I'm not showing my key. I've already added it to the environment, so you can add like this, right? So I don't need it. Okay, so this is the basic setup, Open API client, and now we can go to the tutorial once more. So you can go here. Okay, so let's start first by creating an assistant. So I'll just copy this code and maybe change a little bit so that you understand. So we can call it uh, mathematics tutor, just doing some changes, and instruction is just some instruction you want to give, which tools you want, right? So there are multiple tools which they mention here. uh, it supports currently, I think, 3 tools what they mention: a code interpreter, retrieval, and function calling. For this example, we'll just keep it the basic standard example. Also you have to mention the model. Okay, so we'll just create it. So once you create an assistant, now assistant, you can see some you get an assistant ID in the response of calling this assistant function, right? And an assistant ID also, it will be available here. So if you go to assistants in your open AI dashboard, you can see all the assistants which are running, right? uh, yeah. Oh, sorry, I think it's just loading. Yeah, so this mathematics tutor we just created, right? Let's move forward. Now we have to create a thread. So thread is like a conversation. We recommend one thread per user, right? So very simple. Just say thread equal to. Uh, so I'm creating a thread. Also, always good to see what is inside the thread, or maybe you can see the functions inside the thread, right? This is just Python, right? So you can see created at JSON, a lot of different things, right? You can see. So I can maybe say thread.json. It will give me the JSON. Yeah. So maybe I have to do like thread dot JSON, and I guess, and I'll improve the font. Maybe that will help you see. So I think this function is not there. So I was just anyway just playing around. So thread is also created. Now let's add a message to the thread. Important here is to see the thread ID. We know the thread ID, right? When we just printed the thread, when we got this thread ID, CSZ. Okay, so I'll just create a message now. I'm just copying this code from here, like not doing anything. Uh, so I'll change this maybe a little. I'll say 4x equal to 20, and this may be 4, right? So then for x will be 4. Okay, so I'll just add that. again. So print the message, you will see the thread ID. This is thread message actually. So you see the message ID, and you also see the thread ID, which is equal to what we got here. Yeah, this one. So yeah, and the text also what is there. So our step 3 is also done. You can also see all the list of messages in thread using one API. I'm not going there. Now let's run the assistant. Now to run the assistant, again, just copying the command from here. So it just the thread ID is the thread.id, assistant is assistant.id. And so here I'll put like some name, just changing it a little, just so that we can understand it better. So run also as an ID. So run is basically some job that you are running, right? And assistant, what assistant is there. And so every job goes to like a async queue. So it's not completed. Whenever you run a job, it just puts it on the queue. It's not synchronous competition. It's asynchronous competition, right? So and instruction it got, what the model is there, and yeah, and status is always queued. Now, so step 4 is also done. Step 5 is to check the status, right? So once we put anything on this thread, then we can check. So it's nothing. You have to now say, first you did dot create, now you have to dot retrieve. Thread ID is your thread ID, run ID is what you got from here, right? This is like the job ID. Let's now see the status now. If you print run, you will see this is same as this, and assistant is the assistant ID which we had created earlier. So assistant ID we had created here. Yeah, GPCQ, right? Um, yeah, so GP, this is our assistant, uh, and completed at none. Um, Status is sorry, no, not this one. Status is completed. So now this job has been completed. Run ID we got, and awesome, and it also gives the time it was completed. So our job is completed. Whatever we had given the AI to compute, and now we can just print the response, right? So I'll just say messages. Now you have to do messages your list. Basically, it has added a few messages. So what we did was we said solve this, right, and gave some instruction, right, and uh, now it has solved it. That is what the job is done. Now if I print the messages, I will see some response here. Okay, so it says the solution to this is x equal to -4. Yeah, yeah. So it will be 20 minus 16. Minus 16 by 4 is -4, and also it says so this we had shared with it, and it has solved it. Um, yeah, I think that is it. There was um, another message here, just trying to see. So it should just, so this is the input we gave, and it should do this and then finally do this, right? I'm not able to see this one. Solution is this. Uh, I think we will print it again. Maybe now I'll be able to see. I'll just fetch it, try to fetch it again. You can fetch it any times as you want, right? And I'll just print the messages. I don't know if it will work, right? I'm also just, yeah. So the solution is this. I need to solve this. Can you help me? So I think it's just giving out the solution. The This explanation is not there. Did we miss any step? Let's see. Retrieve we did, list we did. Um, I think two responses, or maybe we're not able to read. One thing I found was if we are able to see the all this, like this format of this is very not very readable, right? Um, but anyway, I think you get the main idea. I'll also check why this the other this assistant is not producing this, but at least we are getting the solution, right? So yeah, this is it for the video. We just followed this very simple tutorial where we created an assistant, then we created a thread, we added some messages to the thread, and we got a response, right? So yeah, please check out this yourself and then let me know. And for more such videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.